Hi there, welcome back to my channel. A little bit about everything. Today we are October 8th, I believe, Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend, in Canada anyways. And I decided to make a table to go along with my deck chairs, and that you can find that deck chair build in some previous videos in woodworking playlist. And yeah, I need a table to go with 4 chairs to give more of a choice. People always love choices. Okay, so I found it's a free plan for a table. It's a cedar table, and it's in the no infringement or copyright intention. It's in the WOODSMITH book, okay, WOODSMITH magazine, okay, and I can show you the cover. It's this WOODSMITH, okay. And they have a plan in here for a cedar table. And this is what I'm building at the moment. If you want a close up. Okay. This is an octagon. It has 8 sides. I know there's a blemish in my screen here and a little dot here. Sorry about that. Eventually I'll be able to afford another camera. So you put a dowel or a peg, and you join these 2 pieces and you glue it up. Okay, that's the legs, and these are the not the frame segments, but the rails, upper and lower rails with the legs. This is how it's fastened, right? This is the frame segment, which is over here. Okay, and you fasten the rails to this piece here. This little piece here is called a cleat. And then you have the slats on top, right? Fairly simple, but where simple ends is here. Your pieces are 5.5, and then you gotta use a what's it called? A Dremel, and you put your router at the end, and you put a center hole here. And you go around, where is it? Okay, here, this is what I'm doing right now, right? I'm gluing up these segments and strapping them down to shut or close in the joint, and I'm loading it up with glue. Okay. And this outline here is where the router is going to be going through, right? To get the circular, see, a rotor trammel, okay, rotor trammel, and that's how it's going to work. Okay. And here's another picture of the actual action taking place. You just put one of the slats, and you go around and plunge in there. So over here, I've made my my miter cuts, 22.5. This is the screw hole that goes across here at the end, and as soon as you clamp down on here, it closes the joint This is filled with glue. Don't be afraid to use glue in there sparingly, or no, non-sparingly. I mean, really lay it down the glue. Like it oozed out, and I just ran my finger across to give me a little bit less sanding to do. But the glue is going to be more than just gluing. It's going to be your wood filler as well, right? And if you look at it from this side, there's the piece in the middle, and these were routed out, not dadoed. See what I mean? This one hasn't been glued yet. Yeah, so here I am at the miter saw, and what I'm doing is I've set my depth gauge. I was going to take this out with a rotor or a router, whichever people how they pronounce it, and I decided to take cuts with the saw instead. It's quicker, it's already set up, in the future, if I make more of these, I'll know which tool is better suited for speed and finished product, what seems nicer. Okay. So I finished setting these up, and they're pretty close to flush. There's still some sanding to do on these pieces, and maybe a little more whittling away at it. I took the chisel to it. The wood isn't at 4% dry. There's still some humidity in it, so when you take it with the chisel, sometimes it cuts, sometimes it shears, or chews I should say. And I got them to fit pretty close enough for what I'm doing. And now I'm going to cut them to length. I'm going to cut them to 46 3/4. So, if I'm not mistaken, I've already marked these down. Mark here. Okay, now for the next piece. So the middle of this notch is 2 3/16. 2 3/16 right here. So it's 23 3/8. Alrighty. So this is the octagon. That's roughly the dimension of the table. Okay. And as you can see, there's the screw, and in here you'll find the wedge. Okay, maybe you can see it better over here. There's the wood wedge in there. Okay, oh, there it is. See? Okay, so basically the easiest way around this is you glue sets of 2s, then you glue those 2 together, and then you glue the final ring. Okay, and I don't have a table surface that's wide enough, so that's why I have weight on there, so it doesn't cure at an angle, right? I don't want it to cure like this. I want to flatten it out on the table, so I put some weight. Okay, and let's take a look. See, the glue starting to cure, and I put enough glue that it will provide me with a sanding surface, right? And then I strapped it to make sure that it's got some tension on there. Alright, and also over here I made the legs. Okay, they are all 24 from there to there, and from the tip of the mortisans they're 27. So it's 1.5 inches on either side. So this is 1.5 inches wide by 2 inches wide. So I've actually cut these out. This is the top rail, right? Since it's got this this section taken out of it. Okay, and if I check it out, once I've got everything cut, I'm going to move over to sanding. See? So that's a fit in there. And what I do here is I drill 3/8 holes on all corners, and then I go at it with the jigsaw. Now it's important that the blade is perpendicular to the table. That's going to determine the squareness of this piece here. Like if that blade was flexing on the bottom, you might get a smaller hole on the bottom than you would on the top, and then you'd have to flip it over and then take another cut, and then the middle would be wider than the top or the bottom. So it's really important that that is perpendicular, that blade. So I just clamp it to my table here, and I use this as my working area for now. Okay. So I've made my feet for the bottom rails, and I have decided to 4 screws and a little bit of glue. A person could probably do without glue. That way, if this chips or something happens to it, they don't have to recreate a whole rail. Oops. We can make this a little bit better. Clamp here. There we go. So what do I have for screws? I have a distance of 2.5, so I can go with a 2 or 1.5. And I just happen to have a box of 1.5 right here. This is what I use. Okay. And they're epoxy covered, so the rust resistance. Now I don't know if it's epoxy over steel or if it's aluminium. It doesn't say. Alright, so finish this side up. Where's my glue bottle? Glue bottle, glue bottle, glue bottle. Ta-da! Sorry, across the camera. I set my clutch to 6. I don't want to go through the lumber. There's one. 2. 3. 4. And what I did, I stayed 1 inch from the side, so that way I can go around it with a router without having to fear of hitting into a screw. Okay, that's why I put 1 inch. Okay, so it's rinse and repeat for the other corners. Down. Okay, so here, if I look, oh no, side view over here, it says they want a 1/8 round over. Okay, so that's probably a quarter half moon, right? The radius would be 1/8. And I'm wondering if the slats have a 1/8 round over as well, so I can round off the corners. They only did it on one side, so a good side will be rounded over. Okay. I might wait until I start actually setting those in before I round them over. So